Hello, my name is Edwin Hubble, and today I'm going to talk to you about my project with the expanding universe. And I'm going to tell you other things that happened during the time and just information about myself. I initially was a lawyer, but in the year 1914, I decided to move to astronomy when I started working at the famous Yerkes Laboratory near Chicago. My project at Yerkes was the Vestro Slipher, and my project on the expanding universe came after that, extending what I had done with that. With the expanding universe, I took long exposures of the spectra of faint galaxies and measured the amount of shift of spectral lines relative to the ones produced by reference arc lamps. I then used this data to calculate values for the different galaxy velocities. The velocities were either blue shift or red shift. Blue shift velocities meant the other galaxies were moving towards our galaxy, the Milky Way, and red shift velocities meant that the other galaxies were moving away from our galaxy. What was I trying to do or find when I was researching on the expanded universe in this project? Is I was mainly just continuing my work with the Vestro Slipher, which was my work with the Vestro Slipher was measuring the Doppler shift of spectral lines from the spiral nebula. From the Vestro Slipher, it was determined that galaxies were moving away from us, and me and my partner, we wanted to measure what these galaxies' velocities were and the speed of different galaxies at different distances away from us, and put together a new theory on that. And that's where our project of the expanding universe came about. Where did our project occur? Our project occurred and was conducted using the Hooker 100-inch telescope on top of Mount Wilson, which was located in Southern California near Los Angeles. What other significant events that were happening near this time is a long list, very long list, and I'm going to highlight just a few notable things that happened during the time I was working on this project until I published my findings on this project in 1929. First, we had the John T. Scopes investigation trials, and that is the guy who was teaching evolutionary theory in public school classroom, and he was convicted and fined for teaching evolution in schools. Another big thing was Adolf Hitler published his first volume of Mein Kampf, which everyone knows Adolf Hitler went on to cause World War II. Babe Ruth, I did follow baseball a little bit. Babe Ruth hit 60 home runs in a single season, which at the time was a phenomenal, outstanding record and actually held its place in history for 40 more years. Richard Byrd started his expedition to Antarctica, and at this point in time no one had been to Antarctica, so him going there was just a huge deal. The U.S. stock market crashed, which everyone knows led to the Great Depression and put the U.S. in a very poor economic state. And of course, lastly, this one went back to where I'd started originally working on astronomy, the St. Valentine's Day Gangland Massacre occurred in Chicago, which was a bloody feud between many gangs, and many people died in this massacre. Besides myself, there was one other person mainly working on this project with me, and that was Milton Humison, and together we worked at the Hooker 100-inch telescope lab on top of Mount Wilson, and it was just us two. We did all the work, and we observed different galaxies and different stars, and it was a lot of work, but it was well worth it. My role on the project was to observe the shifts of spectral lines and calculate the values for the speeds of different galaxies. We did this together, me and Milton Humison. We did it together, and just to check ourselves, check data, make sure everything was followed along. I also recorded the length of these galaxies, like how far they were from myself, in order to put together a theory that the universe is expanding. What impact did this have on the physics community? It had quite a big impact on the physics community, actually, because my theory suggested that more distant galaxies were moving faster than those galaxies closer to us, making our universe an expanding universe. This suggested the universe had to have started in a concentrated area, and this led to the foundation for the Big Bang Theory, providing evidence that the universe exploded into existence and has been expanding ever since, because some some galaxies further away were moving faster than those closer to us, showing that the universe had to have been expanding. Why was my theory on the expanding universe problematic? Um, it was problematic because it clashed with dating values for the age of the universe and evidence for the age of stars. The universe cannot be younger than the stars and planets. And so at this point in time, the universe was, it was thought to be 3-4 billion years old, but my expanding theory of the universe suggested that it was 13 to 14 billion years old. And so that puts the stars at 3 billion years old, or maybe older. And because of that, the universe has to be older than the stars. So that's where it was very problematic. Thank you for your time.